Something has changed, and it's not just on the surface. There's a shift happening deep inside the Minnesota Vikings organization, one that could quietly determine how far this team will go in 2025. For years, the Vikings have been labeled as a finesse team, explosive passing game, electrifying wideouts. But when the lights got brighter and the opponents got tougher, they lacked something essential: physicality, grit, the ability to win in the trenches. And now, it appears the franchise has finally decided to do something about it. But first, click the like button and subscribe to stay well informed. This offseason wasn't just about flashy signings or headline trades. It was about a cultural pivot, an effort to reshape the identity of the team, starting where it matters most, in the trenches. On both sides of the ball, the Vikings have made moves that signal a firm commitment to being more than just finesse. And the question today is simple: did they finally fix their biggest weakness? Let's start with the defensive line. Under Brian Flores in 2023, the Vikings still struggled to consistently generate pressure with just 4 rushers. That meant relying on the blitz far too often, a league-high 50.7% of the time in 2023, which left the secondary exposed. But 2024 brought improvement. The blitz rate dropped to 38.8%, and the front 4 became more productive. Still, the numbers revealed a glaring issue on the interior. Harrison Phillips had a pass rush win rate of just 4.9%, ranking 176th in the NFL. Jonathan Bullard was even worse at 2.7%, placing him 201st. Enter Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. These 2 signings could quietly become the most important moves of the entire offseason. From 2021 to 2023, Hargrave boasted a 16.6% pass rush win rate, elite territory. Allen, despite rumors of decline, still posted 15% in 2024. These are interior linemen who collapse the pocket, disrupt rhythm, and force quarterbacks into mistakes without the defense needing to send 6 or 7. Their presence also frees up edge rushers like Jonathan Greenard and Andrew Van Ginkel, both of whom were efficient and productive in 2024. Greenard remains one of the most underrated edge players in the NFL, while Van Ginkel quietly posted 11.5 sacks and 2 touchdowns last season, along with 18 tackles for loss and a forced fumble. But here's where it gets strategic. Flores now has the ability to rotate his pressure packages without relying entirely on the blitz. He can disguise fronts, confuse protections, and create one-on-one matchups for guys like Dallas Turner, who is expected to take on a bigger role this season. Even if Van Ginkel regresses slightly, which might be expected due to age and usage, Turner's emergence could balance the production. With Allen and Hargrave anchoring the middle, Flores can lower the blitz rate even further, possibly down to 34 to 35%, which will help a still developing secondary. If the front 4 can truly get home on their own, that's a massive schematic win. And the change doesn't stop on defense. Offensively, the transformation might be even more dramatic. Kevin O'Connell's offense has been pass-heavy, leveraging the talents of Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and now J.J. McCarthy. But the run game? It's lagged. Even with some uptick from 2022 to 2023, the Vikings finished just 19th in rushing last season. That's not playoff caliber. It's not what wins in December and January. So the Vikings front office addressed it aggressively. They brought in 4 new starters to reshape the offensive line left of Brian O'Neill, Christian Darrisaw, Donovan Jackson, Ryan Kelly, and Will Fries. That's a complete reset. This group, on paper, could be a top 5 unit in the league. Physical. Smart. Experienced. It's the kind of offensive line that doesn't just block, it sets a tone. But that's only half the equation. The Vikings also added Jordan Mason, a rugged, efficient back who thrives in contact. Mason nearly hit 800 yards on just 150 carries last year, showcasing elite production when given opportunities. Paired with Aaron Jones, Minnesota now has a thunder and lightning backfield capable of wearing down defenses late in games. And with weapons like Jefferson and Addison stretching the field, opponents won't be able to load the box. That leaves one major variable: Kevin O'Connell himself. The success of the run game in 2025 won't come down to talent. The Vikings have the personnel. It will come down to scheme. Will O'Connell lean into a more balanced, physical approach? Or will he revert to the air-heavy tendencies of the past? Can he take a page out of the Kyle Shanahan or Matt LaFleur playbooks and fully integrate the run game as a foundational piece? Because the truth is, in the postseason, the teams that win don't just throw the ball well, they can impose their will on the ground. They can drain the clock, keep their defense fresh, and control tempo. That's what the Vikings have lacked. That's what they've now built themselves to do. But the system has to match the talent. And that brings us back to Mason. The advanced analytics back up the hype. His yards after contact, missed tackles forced, and efficiency in short yardage situations all point to a breakout season ahead if he gets the touches. With a healthy rotation, improved blocking, and smart usage, Mason could be the biggest offensive surprise of the year. So now it's your turn. Do you think the Vikings fixed their biggest issue? Will the defense finally pressure quarterbacks without blitzing? Will the offensive line and run game finally match the explosiveness of the passing attack? Let me know in the comments, will the Vikings have a top 5 defense in 2025? Will they finally crack the top 10 in rushing? And what's your confidence level in Kevin O'Connell adjusting his play calling? Drop your thoughts below. And if we're being honest, that's the real test in 2025. It's not just about the names on paper, it's about what the Vikings do with them. Because for all the excitement around this revamped roster, none of it will matter if Kevin O'Connell doesn't evolve. He has the tools now, a top-tier offensive line, a physical runner in Jordan Mason, a dangerous change of pace option in Aaron Jones, and receivers that force defenses to stay honest. The blueprint is right in front of him. The good news? This isn't a rebuild. It's a recalibration. The Vikings aren't starting over, they're reinforcing their foundation. They're finally prioritizing balance, physicality, and sustainability. That's how you win in January. That's how you build a team that doesn't just reach the playoffs, it makes noise when it gets there. And the defense? If Allen and Hargrave stay healthy, and if guys like Turner, Greenwood, and Van Ginkel keep their production even close to 2024 levels, this front seven could be one of the most disruptive in the NFL. Add to that Brian Flores dialing up pressure in more strategic ways, and suddenly the Vikings don't just have a defense that competes, they have a unity that changes games. So we circle back to the question, did the Vikings fix their biggest issue? On paper, yes. The trenches are better. The run game is finally prioritized. The defensive interior got a massive upgrade. But now it's time to turn theory into reality. And that's where you come in, SKOL Nation. Do you believe this team has what it takes to take the next step? Will Kevin O'Connell commit to the run? Will Brian Flores get even more out of this front seven? And is Jordan Mason ready to become a household name in Minnesota? Let me know in the comments why for yes and for no, the Vikings will have a top 10 run game in 2025. And if you enjoy this type of detailed and exclusive content, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any news. The season promises to be great, and we're going to experience it all together. SKOL!